So I just love and appreciate so much, the wisdom and the joy and the truth and the freedom in this notion that there's no right way to do GTD. And I've been thinking about this and just really looking at how my practice has evolved, and in the most profound ways when I have really given myself permission to explore and experiment and making it less like the right way to do it and making it how I need to do it that's really going to serve me. And the more I pay attention into the nuance of what's working and what isn't working from just kind of like joyful curiosity, the more I kind of take ownership of the practice, and also the better it is, the better results I'm getting. So I thought I would just share a little bit about what I'm currently doing, which once again has evolved over the years. I have kind of a hybrid GTD system now. I have a pretty standard digital calendar that I use, but the majority of my lists live in a paper-based planner. I don't know if you can see this. I did not initially have the intention of using paper. For years I used a digital list manager. I'm really kind of facile with the technology and I love all that stuff, so I wasn't someone that really, even though I had been recommending paper to clients because it's a really great tool, I just didn't think it would work for me. And then it just so happened that we were using a system that was calendar, email, and lists, and they were all together in one system, which was great and was really efficient. But we switched out of that into a new program, and when we did that, I didn't care for the list manager that was in the new program, so I had to migrate my list into something, and I kind of got a little anxious because even though I'm familiar with all these tools, I didn't know which one I really wanted to take the time to migrate things into and use permanently. So I needed like a temporary thing to do, so I got a paper planner that I thought, well, at least I need to be up and running quickly, so I'll use this temporarily, give myself a little space to decide what I want to use permanently. And it was like literally only a couple days into this experiment that's like in 5 years running now that something really shifted. I don't really know the mechanism, but there was something that happened when I put my list into this physical thing that my hands, like the physical kinesthetic thing that my hands are on, that it just enabled me to connect more and relate more to these agreements that are in here. And once again, I'm not sure the mechanism. It just allowed me to connect more, and also really frankly helped with volume control. I had like giant lists, and I don't do that as much here. So I don't know how easy this is to see on the camera that I'm using, but I have basically 5 tabs in here. So I have agendas, actions, waiting for, projects, and project support. And this just works beautifully for me. And then on my phone, I have a couple of lists that I just want to keep on the phone. So for example, errands, I know I'm going to have my errands, when I'm out and about. I'm going to have my phone when I'm out and about, so I use the reminders app for errands. And then I have a couple of agenda lists that I keep on the phone, really for doctor's appointments. It's great because I know when I'm at my doctor, I'm going to have my phone with me, so I can ensure the things I need to talk to him about are with me on my phone. That works great. I have another piece of my system that I like to call my someday maybe filing cabinet. So after almost 20 years of teaching GTD, practicing GTD, I had this giant someday maybe list, and I just had 2 lists. Basically, I had professional and personal, and as the years went by, it started to feel like a giant, scary, amorphous blob. So I knew I needed to do something about that because it was no longer a trusted system. So I basically created a project, which is to, kind of get a better someday maybe system up and running. And what the result of that, which is what I'm using now, is basically curated notebooks in Evernote for my someday maybe, which are via my areas of focus. So for example, I have a someday maybe health notebook, and I have a someday maybe creative projects notebook, and I have a someday maybe home notebook. And once again, something really happened where, that I like how I've organized it. It's easy to find things. It's easy to alphabetize things. So now I have this beautiful repository of all these things that I'm so, potentially interested in, my very creative and active brain. And then here in my hands are the things that I'm committed to doing now. And something about keeping those separate, even though they're connected because they're mine, works really well for me. So, I do love the idea of invitations. So my invitation is to just take a little step back from your current system and just look to see if there's anything that you might be doing, that you've been doing, that maybe needs a little breath of life in it, or maybe it maybe feel a little stale, or maybe you're doing something because you think you should be doing it, which is causing tension. At the end of the day, we have all these wonderful best practices, and what we're doing, it has to work for us. It has to, we have to have this kind of lovely ownership of it. So, allow yourself to explore, experiment, not to you don't want to break something that, doesn't need to be fixed. But at the same time, I also think it's nice to just take a look to see if things are working really well for you. Because once again, your system has to work for you.